The year is 1948. The place, Herzogenaurach, a sleepy Bavarian town of 6,000 souls, nestled between rolling hills and the river Orach. Inside a small, cramped office above a shoe factory, two men sit across from each other. They haven't spoken in months. The air is thick with the smell of leather, glue, and something far more toxic, decades of unspoken resentment. Adolf Dassler, the quiet, meticulous craftsman, stares at the ledger. Rudolf Dassler, the charismatic, volatile salesman, stares at his brother. There is no handshake. No agreement. Just a single piece of paper, torn in half. One brother takes the factory on the north side of the river. The other takes the south. They will never work together again. And in that moment, a single German town is split not by a wall, but by a family feud so deep it would define global sport for the next 70 years. The river Orach becomes a border. The Dassler brothers become Adidas and Puma. And Herzogenaurach becomes a battlefield. It begins not in a boardroom, but in a laundry room. The year is 1924. Germany is reeling from hyperinflation, the Weimar Republic fragile, the future uncertain. In the small town of Herzogenaurach, the Dassler family is struggling. Their mother, Pauline, washes clothes for a living. But her sons have a different obsession. Adolf Dassler, known to everyone as Adi, is a quiet, obsessive tinkerer. He spends his nights cutting patterns from old canvas sacks and military tents, stitching them together by hand. He believes he can build a better shoe. His brother Rudolf, known as Rudy, is the opposite, loud, ambitious, a natural salesman who can talk a farmer into buying a pair of boots he doesn't need. Together, they form Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik. They start in their mother's laundry room, the smell of soap replaced by the smell of sweat and leather. They have no money. They use bicycle tires for soles. They work by candlelight. But they have one thing, a relentless belief that the right shoe can change how an athlete performs. Then comes 1936. The Berlin Olympics. Hitler wants to prove Aryan supremacy. Instead, a black American named Jesse Owens walks onto the track wearing a pair of handmade spikes with the Dassler brothers logo. He wins 4 gold medals. The world watches. The Dassler name is suddenly on every athlete's lips. The laundry room is no longer enough. They need a factory. They build one. And for a brief, glorious moment, the brothers are invincible. But success is a fragile thing. The strategy that built their empire was not about marketing or distribution, it was about proximity. Adi and Rudy lived in the same house. They worked in the same factory. They ate dinner at the same table. And that was the problem. The counterintuitive decision that created their moat was also the decision that would destroy them. They kept everything too close. After the war, the cracks become chasms. Rudolf is drafted into the German army. He is captured by the Americans. He spends months in a prisoner of war camp, convinced his brother denounced him to the occupying forces. Adi insists he did nothing. The truth is lost to history. But the wound never heals. In 1948, they split the company. Adi takes the name Adidas Adi Dassler. Rudolf takes Puma, a name he chose for its power, its speed. The strategy now is not collaboration, but war. They build their factories on opposite sides of the river Orach, and the town of Herzogenaurach becomes a living map of their rivalry. There are Adidas bakeries and Puma bakeries. Adidas bars and Puma bars. Even the local football club splits into 2. If you wore the wrong brand to the wrong pub, you didn't just get a dirty look, you got a fist. The moat they built was not a product. It was a culture of loyalty so fierce that it became a religion. And the altar was a shoe. Execution came down to one man, Adi Dassler. While Rudolf focused on sales and image, Adi became a ghost in his own factory. He would walk the production line at 4 a.m., testing every stitch, every seam. He knew the weight of a shoe to the gram. He knew the flex of a sole by feel. But his genius was not just in craftsmanship, it was in timing. The 1954 World Cup final. West Germany vs Hungary. The heavy favorite is Hungary. The pitch is a mud pit, soaked by relentless rain. The German players are slipping. Adi is in the stands, watching. He has a secret weapon, screw-in studs. He designed them months earlier, but kept them hidden. At halftime, the Germans are down 2-0. Adi walks into the locker room. He pulls out a box of his new studs, longer, sharper, designed to bite into the mud. The players change their shoes. They go back onto the pitch. Germany wins 3-2. It is called the miracle of Bern. But it is also the birth of modern sports marketing. Adi understood something no one else did: the shoe is not just equipment. It is a weapon. He began paying athletes to wear his shoes at the Olympics. He gave them free pairs. He visited them in their hotel rooms, measured their feet himself. He invented the concept of the endorsement deal. Meanwhile, Rudolph was building Puma into a global brand, signing Pelé, signing Muhammad Ali. The execution was brutal, relentless, and personal. Every Olympic medal, every World Cup goal, every record broken, it was not just a win for the athlete. It was a win for one brother over the other. But empires built on rivalry are built on sand. By the 1980s, both brands had grown into global giants. But the cost was staggering. The Dassler brothers never spoke again. When Adi died in 1978, Rudolph did not attend the funeral. When Rudolph died in 1974, Adi did not send a wreath. The town of Herzogenaurach remained split, a living monument to their hatred. And then, the fall. In the 1990s, Puma nearly collapsed. The brand had lost its way, overpriced, underdesigned, outmaneuvered by Nike and Reebok. The factory in Herzogenaurach was running at 30% capacity. The company was weeks from bankruptcy. It took a new CEO, Johann Zeitz, to save it. He slashed the product line, rebranded Puma as a lifestyle brand, and brought it back from the dead. Adidas, too, struggled. Acquisitions gone wrong, a loss of identity. It wasn't until the 2000s that both brands found their footing again. But the irony is brutal: the rivalry that built them also nearly destroyed them. Herzogenaurach today is a peaceful town. The river Orach still flows. The bakeries serve everyone. But the old divisions are not forgotten. There are still families who will not cross the river. There are still old men who remember which side of the street their father stood on. The impact of the Dassler feud is not just a business story. It is a human story. Two brothers, born in the same house, who built empires from a laundry room and then spent the rest of their lives trying to destroy each other. What every business leader should learn from the Dassler brothers is this: ambition without forgiveness is a poison. They had everything: talent, timing, a product the world wanted. But they let pride become their only strategy. The lesson is not that rivalry is bad. Rivalry can sharpen you, push you, make you better. The lesson is that when the rivalry becomes personal, it blinds you. Adi and Rudolph could have built the greatest sportswear company in history, together. Instead, they built two great companies, and spent decades paying the price. The river Orach still runs through Herzogenaurach. It is quiet now. But if you listen closely, you can still hear the echo of two brothers, shouting at each other across the water. And the question every leader must ask is simple: is the fight worth the cost?